Make sure we got audio today. What is up, Entree fam? It is good to see you once again on the show here on Entree Woman TV for our Friday Live Helpcast. It is good to see you. It is good to see your face. I'm glad that you're seeing my face on this fine Friday, but we ain't doing 2 hours, okay? Usually I say it's gonna be a real short stream. It's gonna be great, guys, and then it's like 2 hours and going on 2.5. It's just too much, okay? We need boundaries up here in these out here in these live streaming streets, okay? But good to see you. Glad that you guys are here, man. It's been feels like a minute. A lot of good things and great things going on that I've been doing in the background for your good. I'm super pumped and just excited to be here to be with you guys. There's a lot going on in the world, and at least here it should be a place of joy, okay? So we got Dr. ELO saying happy Friday. Good to see you, Dr. ELO. Glad that you are here. And Anita Thompson saying good morning, guten morgen to you as well. So wanted to throw this up on the screen. If you guys want to hop on live, you can go to this bubble right here and go to diana.link/join if you want to hop on live, ask your questions live, because this is the live help cast. And on this help cast is dedicated to you, helping you get your questions answered. Whereas maybe sometimes it's not as helpful via email, or you want to share and show something, or even if that is you wanting to request that you get your YouTube channel looked at, and so you can get a channel review, which has helped a lot of creators, gotten a lot of great feedback on the advice and things like that I've shared when it comes to the channel reviews and all those things. So, whew, sound like a TV spiel there, right? So we have in the house Journey to Success. Hi, Diana. I'm new to your life. Well, welcome to the show. Everybody here gets white chocolate. We don't pass out dark chocolate or milk chocolate here. So in the mail, you'll be receiving a candy bar. No, just kidding. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Kathy Hester saying, always awesome to hear you. Not heat, but it's 48 this morning in St. Louis. So heat is appropriate. Awesome to hear you as well. Good to see you, Kathy. Glad that you are here. What it do, sis, from Chocolate Twist Yoga. We won't have any of your antics today. I'm just letting you know in advance. Okay, those of you that have been around the live stream, you know what this individual contributes to the nonsense on this show. So much so we had to create a graphic to kind of help with that just says, if you eat more white chocolate, you will feel better and life will be better for you. So just letting you know in advance. Queen Bee, breast cancer sip and chat with Queen Bee. Good to see you. Saying hi, everyone. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Says sorry about the typo. No worries. I have new glasses, and so thankfully I could see the typo, because I'll send typos to my friends, and it's just like there's no point in sending a whole other paragraph of corrections. Just charge it to not either wearing glasses, which is usually most of the time, and I don't know why I continue to do it. I haven't learned my lesson. Clearly. Oh, goodness. See, already, this is why. We're going to ban you for about 30 seconds, all right? So I said that I was going to be sharing some behind the scenes of the actual new Ecamm Live feature. If you're not familiar with Ecamm Live, that is what I use to do this live stream with, and I've talked about that and shared tutorials here on the channel as well, because I think it's like if you have a Mac, which it's Mac only. So if you have a Mac, I think there's no other really better solution for if you're trying to run your business and do live streams, and even like small professional events and things like that. I think it's super valuable to be able to do that in that way. And they introduced their new interview feature. And so what that feature does is allow you to be able to bring somebody on using a link, which is I'll rebrand that link, which I've been a brand ambassador for a company named Rebrandly. So basically, anytime I share something, if it says Diana.link, that's my rebranded link by the company Rebrandly. Kind of makes sense, right? So that way, I don't have to always say, go to www./ something too long to remember.com / something else you can't remember. I can just say, go to Diana.link and then make up the rest. And I'll do that for a lot of the products and services and things like that, just so it's easier to remember. So when I do these live helpcasts, to make it easier for people to remember, I'll just go ahead and say, go to diana.link/join. That never changes. And I'll just update that link of where it sends you to get into the stream if you want to hop on live. So you can always have the same thing. So that's not native to Ecamm Live. Like if you want to do that, you need something like Rebrandly. So real quick, before I show anything else, as far as chats and stuff like that, I just want to show you a quick behind the scenes. So now what you're seeing is my battle station of just on my small monitor for my laptop. And so this is what I see when I'm controlling the live stream. And when you click over here, it's going to be these two people. This is going to be your interview feature. Now, this is not something that's just like, oh, it's a new way to bring on a guest kind of a thing. It's being rolled out as a pro feature that is specifically for interview, and it's some different things going on with it, like customization and some other stuff. And so that is more of a pro level. I thought maybe initially it would be something where it's like, oh, it's just a new general feature but it's like, no. But the amount of stuff that, and like I've been testing this for the last several months pretty harshly. So for all the stuff and the work that's gone into it, it definitely qualifies for pro. So I initially thought like, it's like, no, like do general, let it be just something new for the whole thing. And in a way, I still wish that kind of was the deal in some form or fashion. But when you see all the stuff, you'll get it. But when you come over here, it'll pop up this interview beta, because it is in beta, but it's a public beta, meaning you can try this out for yourself right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to do anything other than go to Ecamm Live's beta group. I probably should drop that chat. If you're a part of the Entree Insiders email community, I sent you out an email about an hour ago that has the link for that. So you should have access to that. If you are not a part of my Insiders community, I will have to grab that link and drop that in here to the chat so you guys can have that also. And so what happens is, so that's the Facebook beta group. The beta testers, which I've been for a long time now, you have access, and like you don't need anything, or like, oh, just you can be a beta tester. Okay. What you do is you sign up for that on Facebook. It doesn't require anything other than a Facebook account. You'll get the link to download. It'll be a separate Dropbox link. When you come in here, you're already set up. You're logging into what you already use. You don't need to reset stuff back up and go through all the rigmarole, all right? So when you get over here, it is based on hours. And so when you click, like I have 100 hours, you can add more time if you need to. They're giving you a pretty, I'm trying to think of what the number is that they're kicking everybody else off at. I don't have all the details at this moment as far as like at the top of my mind. Should have probably wrote notes about that. I didn't. So, but they're launching you off with so many hours that you can have access to it, so that you got plenty of time. I think it was definitely double digits, and it's not like per person or per link. Like it's just once you start and bring somebody in, that timer starts. So, and then it's going based off of hours. So it's plenty to get through some months worth of just a regular show. So it's not like, oh, you get 2 hours kind of a thing. It's not cheap like that. So that's the thing. When somebody joins, like it'll be this link. I can copy the link, send it to that person, or rebrand it like I do, which is send it to diana.link or whatever. And then you hop on, you join, and then you'll see that second person down here. If I want to turn this off so that you can't join the link, then I'll just hit this off button. But somebody would have to be in for me to show you more. Now, when you are joining, you do need to join, like if you're the guest, you can join via your phone, you can join via laptop, tablet, whatever has internet. But the browser is specific as far as like, for right now, what we found in our tests is that if you are on Safari, for whatever reason, they don't like the virtual camera from Ecamm, so you can still be an Ecamm user, have all your stuff, and share that even though you're a guest at somebody else's. You don't, and for your guests, they don't need to have a Mac, they don't need to have Ecamm. It's not specific like that. But the guest comes in, and so what happens is like I'll set up scenes in advance so that when that guest comes in, it's already populating for, guest number 1 to be this person. And you can see that has the number 1 there. We'll call him Phil. So Phil is already here. So if somebody hopped on live, they're already stuck in this placeholder. If I just want Phil to go live and for me to be muted, I'd go over to this guest only scene that I set up. I've preset scenes in advance. And so now it's like I have myself unmuted for the sake of this little demonstration, but Phil would be on here and I could mute myself if I wanted. And those features would be saved. And then like I've talked about and shared before, you can do a ton of stuff as far as the customization and things like that, titles and their name badges coming on and it's swipe in, a lot of cool stuff when it comes to that. And as far as controlling the audio, it gets pretty wicked when you're talking about features and stuff like that. But to really show you more, I need somebody to participate, all right? So until then, you'll just have to deal with this until I do tutorials on it. But some are already on YouTube by Ecamm themselves. So if you don't have to wait on me at all, go and just type in Ecamm interview feature in YouTube and it will come up. So let me go through. Let's see here. Got some chat. All right. Okay. Virtual hug from Taty Works. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Mo Nicole saying hello, everyone. Cello. Good to see you. M3 Live saying hello. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Good morning, Miss Diana, says Adam's Exploit. Adam, good to see you. M3 Live saying I use Rebrandly as well. It's a great service. Yeah, I've had nothing but a pleasant experience with using them, and it just freaking works. It saved me a lot of hassle with, somebody want something or want to remember how to get something. It's just like I don't have to remember a ton other than my rebranded link, and that just makes it super helpful. Zach Williams, good to see you, saying good morning, Diane, and everyone. Glad I caught you and excited about this Ecamm interview. Me too. It's a lot to digest initially, but in testing it, it's been very smooth. I've only had a few hiccups in the months that I've tested it where it'll be something a little wonky, but they were usually very easy fixed for them, and those guys are wizards. So I'll say something like, okay, it's fixed now. It's like, oh, all right. Some other people, I ain't gonna call no names out here in these streets, some other companies just like, yeah, okay. It's just like, yeah, all right, I bet you stop getting a payment from me up in here. So that's just me. I keep it real. So Zos TV saying good evening, good morning. It is the AM, midday, still AM over here. Always with the great information. Appreciate that, Vinart. Glad to see you. Glad that you're here. Adam's Exploit saying, when I get my tax refund and stimulus check, I'm going to buy a gaming PC and eventually get the mid-level vMix. Okay, yeah, vMix, it's not really wrong with vMix. It's just having enough of what you need in your computer or be able to update that specifically if you, depending on what you need, right? And so when it comes to computers, the biggest thing that you're going to need when it comes to live streaming is the RAM. And then the other thing that's going to be really important is making sure you have enough storage space on the disk. Most companies will sell and they'll advertise like, oh, it has a terabyte worth of, which is 1,000 gigabytes for those that don't know. It's like it has a terabyte worth of data. You can save everything. That doesn't mean you should. It just means you have a lot of space. Oh, it's a solid state drive instead of an HDD spinning disk drive. It's just like, okay, but it has like 4 gigabytes of RAM or 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's not enough. So if you're buying a new computer, for those that are in the market, you do at least want to get 16 gigabytes of RAM. Make sure, you do want to at least have, 500 gigabytes, 1,000 gigabytes, or that 1 terabyte. And that's just really to be able to save the immediate things that you need, but be able to move some stuff around without running out. So like if it's 250 gigabytes worth of storage or something, it's okay. But if you're editing, for example, like I'll use Final Cut Pro. Even before then, I used Filmora by Wondershare. And those need space to kind of hold the stuff. Either you can do it on an external hard drive. I don't want to go off into a tangent on that. But if you're just bringing your files in from your memory card, bringing those into the editing, and then you're starting to edit, okay, you need space to bring in those files. Those files get larger if you're dealing with 4K video footage. And so like I was on Social Media Examiner's podcast, and recently yesterday was my talk for the YouTube Marketing Summit. And so, like, I was sharing some strategies and some things around how to grow your business using live streaming. Okay, well, in that, I was sharing some of the features and concepts and just like the importance of 4K video. And like one of the questions that I got back to answer was like, well, what's 4K? And so it's like, I think like as entrepreneurs at this point in this stage, we really, really, really need to be aware of the things that are changing and our niche and the platforms that we're on. So when it comes to live streaming, when it comes to 4K, let's just not upgrade the softwares. Let's not just buy a better camera. The computers still need to do the work. And so those 4K, 60, 120 frames per second, whatever nonsense stuff, big files, that has to be edited, or somebody has to edit that. If you're still doing work yourself in your business, make sure you have a competent PC or a Mac if that's the case. So, guys, please be sure to drop your questions down in the chat. I'll try to grab those as much as possible. About 18 minutes into the stream here, we're going to run it for about another 30 or so minutes, and then we're calling it good. Real quick, though, I do want to make sure that you guys are aware, and I'm looking for something. I'll find it, and then I'll get back to that. So pinning a thought and another thought that I haven't shared with you yet. And then, so when it comes to the channel, and so I have been growing like crazy on the channel. I'm super grateful and thankful for all of your time and attention, and all of you that have been helped by the content. I'm extremely grateful and valuable for your time that you share here with me on the channel. That being said, I'm getting close to hitting 10,000 subscribers, and Doc is joining. I hear a chime, so it kind of threw me off. I see you, Doc Rock. I'll bring you in a minute. So I have been extremely just humbled and grateful, and it's been a lot to, like, I'll put it this way. I ain't finna get emotional, all right? This is not the day. I ain't even finished this cup of coffee. So I have been going through a lot over from the time I uploaded my first video with the intent to grow my channel up to today. I'm extremely grateful to get close to 10,000 subscribers. And so I'm going to be doing a huge 10,000 subscriber giveaway, at which point you may recognize some of the things. First off, because this is my show, I'm going to be giving away some of my own merch. So like this Coffee Record Repeat shirt. This is one of my shirts that I have in my merch store. And so I'll be giving away some, I haven't picked all the things. I do know I'll give away like this shirt, for example. Also, I'm going to reach out to some friends, but I'm going to throw this out there because I'll do it myself if nothing else. So Ecamm has their merch store. And so like this is one of their laptop cases. I'm going to be giving at least one of those away. And I made a new friend that some of you may have seen before. This is the Switch Pod. And I have one. Furthermore, so do you. Maybe. They gave me one to give away, and I'm super pumped and grateful and excited. I have one. It's sitting back there. This is mine. The one for my case. The one for y'all is back there. So I have some other stuff. I'm going to reach out to some other companies that I've partnered with before or have relationship before, because, again, I'm going to be giving away some stuff. And so this is pretty cool, pretty neat. Been trying it out. I just got my 10 to 18 this week. So we'll give the vlogging scene a little thing, but it's a lot of fun to play with. And if nothing else, it's a beautiful weapon. Just throwing it out there. So let's bring Doc Rock on. Doc, you ready? In 3, 2... What's up, Doc Rock?
Aloha. Really, I just wanted to come and say hi because we can now without getting in trouble for showing people that, we had the secret sauce.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like it's been crazy because it's like, hold it, be quiet, don't say nothing, and it's like we had to wait for so long. Like we didn't know for a long time, so let's throw it out there because people were asking. It's like I don't know when it's coming out, and I didn't. And then it's like when it got to the point of the date, nobody was asking anymore, so I wasn't going back to start no trouble in the DM. So
Yes, it's been
shoot,
like burning a hole in the pocket. It's like when I knew what my sisters had for Christmas, but they didn't know.
yeah,
And just to have something on them, because they always say, I'm the baby, right? So they
yep,
always
me
had
too,
stuff on
me
me.
too.
Oh, boom. right? So
Yeah.
like just to know I had something on them, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
I know what you don't know,
Okay,
and
right.
oh, it was
I
itching. But yeah,
helped wrap
I
your
wanted to drop
present.
in. I wanted to drop in and say hi and tell you, I always respect and appreciate everything you do, except for the dark chocolate jokes.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll take that.
I'm, I'm, I'm teasing, and yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this is great. And what the other thing, and you just kind of helped me out. I've been doing my stuff and teaching people how to use a new feature, but I haven't had a chance to be the opposite side yet, since the first
Mhm.
day we did it. So like I wanted to see the experience and oh my goodness, it's so smooth and so simple.
Right. I've been trying to play around just like, okay, where's my other phones and just putting them up and trying to make sure I
Yeah.
mute everything and then, it's like so it's just kind of hard to test by yourself. I get it,
What I
but
did, I have my stormtrooper over here, and there's a camera connected to his face,
mm,
and he's connected to the Mac Mini, but he
mhm.
don't talk. Well, okay, he don't talk to y'all. Okay,
Right.
let's put it that way. I got you,
Okay.
dog. So I'm like, my girlfriend comes in. What are you doing? I'm talking to the stormtrooper. She's like, okay, and she closed the door real slow, and she's like, all right,
Just tell us
I
that
see
you
you
better
later.
not break up with me or we both gonna beat you up.
And you don't even know, except for she ain't worried about them. They can't shoot, so you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
just
it's
wanted to say
nice.
hi and see how you doing and catch up with you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the other side of the live has been nice. Thankfully, one of my other buddies, he actually is using it now. He was really frustrated with using Skype, and he has a weekly show. And so, like, we would do like 2.5 hour tests, and it's like three of us. And it just like, I'm like, okay, well, what are you saying? What are you not liking? Screenshot it, send it to me. And then, like, I'll come in and test it. So, it's been a lot of work to make sure that other side and still like a couple things like for like a chat with the guests I haven't seen yet, but I'm still hoping we get that soon. Unless I'm missing
Yeah.
something, I still got some stuff I gotta dig through, but I think it's really dope. I think it's really dope.
So one of the cool things is as a guest right now, I can turn on the chat bubble so I can see like Adam exploits and
Mm-hmm.
Mo and some other people talking, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the ability to entertain them while you're like on message.
Got
So
you.
I have to go back to the YouTube page and then say
Mm-hmm.
something there or
Yeah.
whatever. So I would love to be able to in the green room entertain that. And the other thing that which I talked to Kid about earlier today was I would love to be able to have a talkback button. I'm just weird. I'm radio
Okay.
before I come in or the remote
Yeah.
producer, I
Yeah.
want to be able to hit the button and be like, okay, we're gonna be ready in a couple seconds. Make sure your headphones are on, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
or the guests can talk to each other in the green
Yeah,
room.
yeah, that'll be nice. Or it's like I think some control features with that because it's like not every dynamic do you want. It's like to bring. But I think having a dedicated green room space, like the internal private chat, so we can communicate. I just have to say live, like, "Hey, I see you. I'll get to you in a second," versus like throwing in a message real quick or having an auto responder message that I can just throw in real
Yeah,
quick. So that'd be nice. Yes, and I think to be able to for you to see the chat as well can kind of help or to be able to engage. Because if you ever have a panel on or like use some of these softwares, it's nice when it's not your turn talking. You can be in the chat talking and keep that conversation going or answer
you're helping the
questions. Yeah,
community. Yeah.
yeah. So that'd be dope. That's something I'm definitely gonna throw out because it's been frustrating a little bit to just like because you're just sitting back there and it's just like, well, I guess I'll wait, and that it kind of what I'm saying, it just kind of throws it off.
One of the things that Chosen Media asked the question is Ecamm still Mac only? Yes. However, your guests can come in from Mac, PC, Linux,
Mm-hmm.
phone. Like I have my homie tested out with the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was amazingly like somebody to just be able to take their phone and answer. I don't want them to do that. Trust me. I want them to use this, setup. Like even today, I didn't realize that using Edge. I've been playing around with Microsoft
Microsoft
Edge because
Edge,
it's a
yeah.
really fast browser, but it wouldn't let me select Ecamm Virtual Cam. So right
Okay.
now, you guys are watching me in a Hyperlog Gamma profile with no color grading, and
Yeah,
so
the
I
Let's
look
thing.
I look
That's
weird.
mm-hmm.
Normally, I have it color graded, so I look like a proper, caramel complected man with lovely hair. But
Get the shine.
yeah, but I was like, that's okay. I could be hood for Miss D because
Yeah.
she's always so good to us.
I appreciate it. That was one of the things I was thinking about as well. Something I've been playing around with is going into one of the log footages, like an S log 2 or 3, just depending on how bright it is in here, and then throwing on a LUT with it. But yeah, it's kind of hard to still do that unless you're able to share your Ecamm feed into the, which you can, but it's just like some of these browsers like Safari, now knowing Microsoft Edge is kind of posing a little bit of an issue. Then it's like, there's nothing we can do about those browsers, but I don't know. It's like, it's a thing, I guess, for now.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it. I'll be creeping in the comments, making fun of people that's
Okay.
causing trouble and teasing you. Actually, what it is it's still 6 in the morning, and I need to get my coffee. But I
Listen.
just finished. I just finished my British podcast, and I ain't
Okay.
had no coffee yet. So you know how that is. I ain't
Yeah.
got to explain it to you.
Okay.
I appreciate you, Ma.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
brother. Take care. All
Aloha.
right. Bye. All right, guys, that was the DocRockOfficial.com. That website doesn't exist, I don't think. But I appreciate you, Doc, for coming on. Always a pleasure just to be able to see you and communicate with you. Doc always been clutch in the chat as well as just on Facebook. If you're in those Ecamm Live communities, Doc is very, very present and just like super helpful and just really really helpful. So if you see Doc, show him some love if you're in one of those Facebook groups. So let me jump back in the chat. Where did I leave off at? And I'm a rapper, you didn't know that. So M3 Live is giving me some data here saying it's 2 hours for the trial and 20 hours are included. Okay, so I guess if you, yeah, so that sounds about right. If you're just doing a trial for the first time, like that 14-day trial or what have you, then they'll give you 2 hours that you can have access to during the trial to test that feature out for yourself. And if you have an account, it should be 20 hours that you're able to actually use it. So again, like you get plenty of space to see if it's something that you want to use or just be able to access. And if you're doing like 1 hour shows, like you got 4 people on, it's not going to equal 4 hours of use. It's just like while you have somebody in, it's being used. So for example, like Doc just left, it's saying like you got 99 hours, da 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 da. He wasn't on for an hour, and that I don't know that timer specifically. I want to ask some more clarifying questions around that. And some things you can't see while you're live, just like I can't see certain things, like if I'm trying to share the screen, for example, so or the demo mode. So I'll need to play around with a few more things as well. So I didn't really release a video about it day one because it's like it's still some stuff to kind of see, in my opinion. I don't know, but let's jump back in the chat here. Let's see here. Saying don't forget to thumbs up the live stream if you're loving the information. Why, thank you, Mo. Appreciate the love. And y'all better hit the thumbs up button, okay? You better hit the thumb. Just kidding. Interview feature is like chocolate. Pick your flavor. Well, there's one caveat. There's good flavors and there's bad flavors. So not using any interview feed. That's just dark chocolate version of. I'm just kidding. Devin Chambers, good to see you. Saying, glad to see you again. How are you doing? Well, doing well, doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. Adam saying my Dell laptop has 12 gigabytes of RAM and a poor graphics card. That's another thing that I forgot to mention as well. So that's super helpful. It's like the graphics card, for those of you that don't know, the RAM deals with the memory. So imagine 20 people trying to have a conversation with you at once. That is the equivalent of your computer not having enough memory and stuff like that to really be able to process it. The graphics card kind of deals with how smooth the computer can offload some of that information, like, hey, take 12 of these conversations, Final Cut Pro, and you can have that just for you, right? So when you need it, here's another graphic card for you. So that basically is like a secondary memory system, or second, not memory system really, but a secondary type of graphics card that actually lets you process photos, videos, and things like that better. So if you are doing editing and videos, that's important. So that's something I didn't have a good one in my last one, and that's something I definitely invested in when I upgraded, is to like, okay, what kind of a graphics card and how much can you handle? Because at base level 4K video, it's not 1080p for me anymore. It's got to be like base level 4K, and then, you know what I'm saying, be able to handle, like, because essentially we'll start to see cameras that have 6K and then it's downsampled like some of the most of the Sony mirrorless cameras are. Actually, 6K video, and I'm gonna say a word. Nobody say nothing about this word. All right, it's squares down into 4K. Squares is a word. I made it up. All right, 6K video, which is very large, and it squares down into 4K. All right, shoot. And so that means you're getting a lot more data, a lot more detail, and that's condensed down into a smaller video. So that's why you'll see it sometimes it's sharper, a little bit more detail, and things like that. So we're already dealing with 6K type video files, for example, for a Sony video users and things like that. So that's why I say 4K is the baseline. So if you're buying something, you don't know what to ask for, ask a computer nerd friend, or if you're just kind of stuck with asking the representative, tell them it needs to have like a dedicated graphics card that can handle 4K video, no less than 16 gigabytes of RAM. And the storage is not important, but make sure it has SSD for the hard drive, like the solid state drive, meaning it doesn't spin around or whatever. It just is its own thing. It'll be really small. If you drop it or throw the computer, it won't skip, and then you'll miss information. It gets pretty wonky. You don't want to have to know all that stuff by heart, because I assure you, I had to learn that stuff the hard way, and it sucks. Chosen Media saying I bought a used gaming computer from eBay for $500, 12 gigs of RAM, M2 drive, runs great. That's awesome. Glad that you found a good one. I don't trust eBay though. I just can't. I just cannot. Chosen Media saying, where can we see the link? So if you want to hop on, you just go to dyna.link/join. I can't show you when I'm doing the whole screen kind of a deal, because it won't, in the live demo mode, because it won't show you the actual link. It'll just say copy link. But this is where it would be. When you're actually doing it for yourself in Ecamm Live, it'll be a link down here. If you need to change that link, you'll hit the refresh. It'll ask you, do you want a new link? Yes or no. It'll say, yeah, you can say yes. Like if you want to change it. So for every week I change it. And then you can click copy link. You drop that in the chat, or you drop that into Rebrandly or something like that. So that way you have access to it. Alrighty. Let's see here. So Chosen Media is saying, looking forward to upgrading to the ATEM Mini Pro so that I can do multi-camera streaming. I've been thinking about that. And then I stopped thinking about that because it's just too much. It's too much nonsense going on in the world. I don't have time for multiple cameras. And if I do, I want a slider to go with it. I'm going full Nick Nimmin out here in these streets, okay? So, and I'm just like, no, just to have a second camera angle, it's like, you don't need to see my sideburn for this to be a dynamic live stream. It's not happening, all right? So it's like, if it's going to be something, it's like, let me set something up more, seriously or what have you. But it's like, no, we ain't just getting the sideburn angle. And then it's just like, oh, you got a little trim today. It's like, oh, no, you need to get it trimmed today. It's like, we're not doing that, not doing it. But the A10 minis are nice because for those of you that don't know what that is, it basically looks like a little hub, right? And instead of you buying cam links, multiple cam links, what you can do is buy the one thing. It's a little switcher, and you plug in, if your camera has clean HDMI out, you can plug in, like, so example, I got the A6400, you can plug in A6600 and whatever other cameras that have clean HDMI out. You don't need any kind of cam link in between. You just need a good HDMI cable. And then you can send that signal to multiple camera angles. Something I found extremely fascinating. I'm going to watch the video again. It's a video by Think Media. Actually, let's go ahead and pull that up. So for those of you that are doing churches and stuff, doing or you're trying to maintain things and you need a different setup, because I've gotten some messages about like a really long USB cable. Whoever that was, I haven't replied to you yet, but I'm glad they did a video, because it's just like, it's some things you don't want to do. And there's some things like the longer the cable is, the less reliable the connection is, the more it's more prone to other issues, and it's just not worth it. And so when you look at multiple camera setups, let's go over here to the Tubes U. So this video specifically here by Think Media that they just uploaded is extremely, extremely valuable if you need to jump into doing stuff for your church in a more professional way. So for example, they talk about recently at a church. they talk about them being able to get these kind of setups using, they use cinema cameras, but you can use mirrorless cameras if that's what you have. But you can get a similar setup, but be able to run cables longer using SDI, not HDMI. Those are not going to work well for long distances, like trying to get multiple angles. And if you were at the virtual experience for Grow with Video Live, they had multiple camera angles, different scenes and stuff to switch it up. So if your church, for example, you have stuff in the lobby, you have something in the main sanctuary, you know what I'm saying? Just like to keep that same kind of dynamic, this is extremely valuable video to check out. And I think everybody should if you're trying to do anything like that, because the stuff that I teach is more for things like this, or businesses or small business events, maybe like 50, 100 people or less, kind of a thing. You're not trying to do a whole bunch, but you do need to change some different devices, change some different things if you're trying to get that set up a little bit more complex. You're not going to use prosumer tools to do that. With the A10 Mini, it will give you a lot of flexibility to be able to pull that off. Devin saying, I am a beginner with Ecamm, but haven't been able to use it because of lag, delay. Any advice? I use Safari and a Logitech webcam. Not webcams. Lag has nothing to do with the software. It has everything to do with your processor or your computer. So if you don't have a strong enough computer to run the programs that you have on there, then it won't matter what you do because the computer's just not strong enough. So if you have everything shut down, browsers, like everything closed, you're only running a webcam, like a USB webcam, there's nothing that you can do to deal with the lag if your computer simply is not strong enough. You really need to look into the specs for the RAM. How much memory does it have to process that information? And how old is the processor in essentially, like, is it strong enough? Sometimes you have like these i3, i5, whatever, for example, for Mac, instead of an i5 or i7 type processors that, I'm not going to get too nerdy. How about I stop there? Check your processor, check your RAM. If you don't have enough stuff to be compatible with it, there's nothing that you can do to do that, because a USB webcam is not going to require anything. Ecamm Live is not going to really cause any kind of lag. That's more of a hardware kind of a deal, like just not having a strong enough computer, honestly. So unfortunately, that's been my experience. So Chosen Media saying, how long have you been doing this? How long did it take for you to get to 10K? So I'm not at 10K yet. I'll probably hit that in the next 2 months. So, oh man, I would say like my first video was more around, like, so I posted videos, but it wasn't for the sake of me building a channel. It's like I was using it to just kind of have videos to host on YouTube and then share it because you can embed them to your website. So I was doing that. And so when I first uploaded a video that was for my business, like, and I'm like, this is specifically for YouTube, I'd say that was around January or February February specifically, 2017. 2017, yeah. So at least since the February 2017, you can add on a little bit of November 2016, just getting my first, not mirrorless, but DSLR camera and all of that, the Canon T5i. I would say at that point, it's like when I was like, oh, this is really a thing. YouTube is it's a possibility to have a business, make income, and live a totally different lifestyle than what we've been exposed to. So for around probably like, I'd say like February 2017 being that thing. And so it's like growth ain't been like overnight kind of a deal. And so like if we look, for example, on my channel here, you can sort by the oldest video. Like this was a video that I did for, I think I uploaded this to Facebook and YouTube or whatever. It's like trying to do my first Facebook ads. And then like these videos were the first ones that I was doing for YouTube specifically. I had other ones and I took some of those down. They were just kind of irrelevant or duplicate, just sharing it from Facebook to YouTube, and it just didn't make sense. But these older videos, it's like you can see it's like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and whatever. It obviously was ones in between there that I took down. But it's like I was doing a lot of videos on Facebook and trying there. And so it's really June 2016 did my first video for sure for like literally first video, but it was just on Facebook. So, it's interesting. It's an interesting journey, but some people can do that in a month. Some people can do that in a year. It just depends. Everybody's journey is different, but I'm glad mine has been what it is. saying that's Pat Flynn's switch pod. Indeed, it is Pat Flynn's switch pod, and they sent me the ball head too. So let me get that in there. Yeah, so this is the ball head that they also sent me as well, which is pretty gosh darn neat, if I do say so myself. And this stuff is not like light in that it's cheap or whatever. The switch pod by itself is okay. You add a camera with the lens, like the Sigma. I'm gonna tell y'all now, just forewarn you before I do any vlog video like sharing and showcasing this, because again, I got, here it is. Boy, got the 10 to 18 this week. So if you follow me on Instagram stories, you saw that, because it's a lighter gosh darn lens than the Sigma 16. That Sigma 16 eats too many cheeseburgers. All right, I understand her frustration in life. She doing too much. Great quality, a little weighty. All right, no, but no, the Sigma 16 is all right. I'm using it now. I love the lens. However, this 10 to 18 is a much lighter lens. It doesn't require much, and I've used these before in some of my work and stuff like that. It doesn't extend. It's very light, and it just is a wider angle. I've played around with it. I rented it not that long ago from Lens Rentals, and it's a good lens, but I'm just like, is it worth it? And then I was like, I got this switch pod in the mail, and I'm like, ooh, this ain't gonna happen with no Sigma 16. It's too heavy. For me, you talking about little winkling keyboard arms, right? And I'm just like, oh man, weight is too heavy. And then you add on that ball head, and I'm like, listen, don't ever get in a fight with any vlogger that uses a switch pod, a big old lens, and just don't fight them. It's not worth it. Chad B coming in. We got you coming in, Chad. I'll bring you in a second, brother. All right. So Adam's saying I want a diet, but I can have some dark chocolate. Ain't nothing wrong with dark chocolate. I actually think it's healthier, like actually healthier. So we'll see. Devin saying big congrats. I'm so thankful I found you and you introduced me to Doc Rock. You both are great. Well, I appreciate that. My pleasure. Doc is an amazing person. All right, so we got Chad. Chad, you ready to come on? Give me the thumbs up if you're ready. All right, got a thumbs up in 3, 2. Oh wait, hold on, I'm not ready yet. So bring in 3, 2. What is up, Chad? Good to see you. Hit the wrong button. All right, there we go. How are you? Uh-oh. He froze. Oh, shoot, Chad. We brought you in and lost you already. So Chad is frozen.
Yeah,
Oh, there
I'm
you are.
sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, sorry, I got bad connection. I got kids
No,
in
right.
school right now too.
Right. Got you. Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate you hopping on. How can I help?
No, I was just coming on. Just wanted to actually test out my setup as well. Basically, from what I learned, I'm using actually Sparkle Cam right now with my Canon M50.
Okay.
So all this information, all the setup is based on what I've learned from your channel,
Okay.
from your tutorials and everything on streaming.
Okay.
And just coming on and say thank you really quick. So that's it.
I appreciate it. Well, I would say test out. I know Canon recently took their version out of beta, so they do have it now in PC and for Mac. And so if you want to see if that may work better for you than Sparkle Cam, you can try that with your M50, just to kind of help a little bit with that. And if you're not hooked in via Ethernet for your streaming setup, definitely hook in via Ethernet. It makes a difference versus Wi-Fi.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm in my basement right now, so I don't have an Ethernet connection. So I will be actually calling the internet provider to come and install one. So,
yeah, they won't mind helping you spend a little bit of extra money or with them a little bit more money.
Definitely. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on and just, show my face and say hello and test this out as well. And, congratulate you on doing a good, such a good job.
I appreciate it. Well, everybody give Chad some love in the chat there. Well, Chad, I appreciate you hopping on. Always a pleasure, my brother.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Sure thing. Well, take care.
You take care.
All right.
All right. Bye now.
So we had Chad in the house. Everybody, make sure you say what is up to Brother Chad. All right, so got a question here saying, is Ecamm still Mac only? It is probably only ever going to be Mac only. So it's built specifically to run off Mac machines. They coded it from the ground up specifically for Mac. So I don't believe they ever have any intentions on doing it for PC. So I don't even know if they can be persuaded to do PC. I've definitely asked. They're just like, no, it's Mac. And I'm like, alrighty then. So Adam saying, I don't know why StreamYard won't let guests type in chat either. You have to pop out the YouTube chat. I asked them a couple times to change it, but they gave up. Not gonna say anything. Moving on. All right, K-Walk Comedy, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Say good afternoon. Just stopping by to say hi. No excuses. Well, I appreciate you, but for stopping in and not starting any trouble. Chosen Media saying thank you on PC based. I love Ecamm. Had to go with Restream soon to move to OBS. I one of my buddies who is with TubeBuddy, which you guys have heard me talk about before, Rob Balasabas, he does a lot of tutorials when it comes to Restream, and he does use Ecamm Live. And I keep telling him, it's like, man, I need to try Restream. And it's just like, I don't know about all that, but I do want to give it a go. It's very clean and it's very nice. So if you do maybe need something different and you are on PC, I would definitely go with Restream from my test and my experience, and then from that of my friend Rob's. I mean, it's pretty gosh darn good, and it looks really, really nice. And they came out with their own browser-based, which is what it would be, so you don't need to download anything. It doesn't matter if you're Mac or PC. And you do need something that kind of can do it all with sending it to every platform that you need it to go to, in addition to bringing on guests and showing comments and having little lower third titles. It's not a ton of customization, for example, like you can't move around the chat and resize it and stuff like that. It's pretty locked in. And so, like, for example, I think it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just not like, if customization and being able to do all that stuff is important to you, then you would need something like an OBS or like an Ecamm or vMix or something like that. That's a little bit higher level. But if you just want to be able to have those features and you don't care about the placement per se, you're okay with it being locked in to a certain place, which is not bad at all. I definitely think Restream is probably the way to go there. Adam saying sometimes the cellular signal is better than someone using Wi-Fi on a laptop. I had guests switch from their laptop to phones when their feed was bad. Yeah, that's a good thing too. When I'm traveling, I don't like using Wi-Fi hotspots from coffee shops and stuff like that. I will tether my phone to my computer, and I've honestly not even had any issues with that being an issue. And then too, it's like you do want to be careful about safety issues and stuff like that. The pandemic was getting serious when the spammers and scammers stopped. That's what I do. I said, oh, it's real out here in these streets. I said, look at you. Like, those were the best months ever. Just no telemarketers, no spammy calls, nobody saying you want a cruise and you haven't even signed into your email that day. Like, just nothing, right? It's just like, no, hey, you need to send us a Target gift card for $500 because you owe the IRS money. It's like, really? The IRS wants me to go to Target, get a gift card, and send it to them. Otherwise, you're going to send the police to lock me up. It's like, get off my phone. Get off my phone. I remember a friend that I worked with. They caught her at the perfect moment. She was so frustrated and so much stuff. She was trying to catch her daughter, pick her up before, you get whatever fee for picking up. They called her. This is what that fool said to her. And she was just like, I'm going to get arrested. And I was just like, really? She came in to work the next day, like, really? Even her grandparents that are like 70 something was like, even we know better than this. But I mean, that's one for the books of this year. Okay, that's one good thing that happened this year. You had several months in a row where you didn't have to worry about spammy callers. Doc Rock saying, better lock that domain. You better. The DocRockOfficial.com. That should be your new website. So Doc giving us some more details on the new interview feature, which it says 250 hours for pro annual members, and it's tracked by minutes. but calculated in hours. So, got you. And said he's in the Ecamm. He's a Ecamm Live beta group moderator. So if you do join the group, you can ask him a question. So Doc has your back if you do decide to get involved with testing this out for yourself and you run into any issues or not sure where something is, you just tag him. He's good to go. And I'm in there as well. I'm not on Facebook as much these days, but I am in the group. And so if you want to tag somebody, it's like, you can. I'm in there. Eduardo is saying my problems are around the ISP, that it's not stable and the speeds are all over the place. Well, it depends. So I can't offer any thoughts around that yet because it's so many dynamics when it comes to computers sometimes. So I don't know. That's an interesting thing. It's some phones coming out and stuff like that I wonder, is it better on some phones versus others, or some models versus others? Is that more carrier specific at times? When you what I'm saying? Like, you get real nitty gritty in that. So, are y'all talking about the word squez? Squez. Do I need to put a big word on the screen that says what squez is? Is that how you spell that? First of all, this is my live stream, and I'll be good golly gosh darn if I don't put this word on here with a definition. Okay. Noun, person, place, or thing. No, just let's see here. How would I spell this? Y'all trying me today. It's Q-U-E. Okay. This is how you spell squares, okay? Past tense for squeeze, okay? Squares is a word. You can find it in every dictionary online. All right, squares, not squeeze, not squeezed, but squares. All right. So now you can add that to your children's education starting on Monday. All right. So I said I always make up words. Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it. There's no other way. Chad B saying, "What's up? Good to see you." Chad said, "Square down works for me." What is square down? So let me know what that is. But good to see you, Business Film Booth. Saying the new GoPro is $5K. Yeah, I've been looking at that new GoPro and looking sideways at my Osmo Pocket. So, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Say, will you do any channel reviews today? Yep. You drop your channel down below, and we will take a look if you want your channel reviewed. Saying I don't trust eBay either. Me neither. Saying, hey, I sell part-time on eBay, and that's my YouTube niche. Be nice. I don't mind the good part of eBay, but eBay is like kind of playing in the dark arts or something. Like, it's clean, but it's dirty. All right. You know what I'm saying? It's a good boyfriend that you have. He just sell drugs sometimes. That's still not okay. Okay. It's just like, I'm trying to think of a show. I can't think of the TV show name or the movie, but it's just like, no, Mom, he's great. He's a nice guy. He treats me well, takes me out to dinner every week, but he also sells drugs on the side. Like, no, it's not okay. That's how I feel about eBay. Just at Doc Rock saying I have an ATEM Mini Pro, and it was fun for a week over it. Almost, but no dice. Doc, curious to see what was wrong with that as well. So I'm curious. Saying, yeah, I was obsessed with Nick's slider as well. Yeah, he almost dropped it on one live stream. He said, it's tilting, y'all. He's like, hold on. I said, I'm not going nowhere until I see if it falls or if he get up and go fix it or not. And he got up, like, if he's like, I'm not liking this, y'all. His whole stream stopped. No more channel reviews. No more nothing. He's just like, I'm not liking it. It's like, I'm finna get up. I was like, you can add two light stands to the end, and then that way it doesn't tilt when the camera gets to one side. But I was trying to work with one company. It didn't work out for getting a slider, but may take a look at another company as well. Saying I just bought another cam link to hook up to a GoPro, and I'll put the GoPro into Create Spaces to get a second look for live, something a little quirky. That'll be interesting to see as well. Says, so one mirrorless for the main and the second angle is a wide. I thought about that as well, because I would love, and I was talking with somebody before, one of my consulting clients, and I was just like, they were asking about like using the Osmo Pocket. there's always kind of like hacks and ways of doing things, but reliability is always an issue when it comes to doing professional live streams. And at that point, it just got, to a thing where I'm like, no hacks kind of allowed anymore for me. And it's just not worth it. And you create more problems than what it's really worth. And so I've not found anything that really works successfully, well, reliably with doing that. So I don't recommend anything. But when it comes to actually using a GoPro, those do have clean HDMI, and even like the Sony FDR X3000 camera, little action camera, no screen or nothing. It's a little white one. Stability is amazing. Quality is variable, but it's okay. Audio levels are amazing. Has an audio in jack. That one would be something I would probably look at, just because, again, the reliability of it. The GoPros are interesting though. I've really been looking at them lately. So Adam saying I watched Heather and Tony's live last night. I'm just going to be able to say, okay. All right. So that's centered. I'm just going to say, okay, because I did not. I went to sleep last night. All right. So let's see here. Say I can't even use my Canon M50 with Sparkle Cam and the Cam Link. I guess not. It's like when it comes to some things, honestly, it's like a lot of people think like, oh, you hate the Canon 50 now. It's like, it has nothing to do. Like, I have no brand loyalty. Nobody pays me, right? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I have definitely been offered money and been like, no, because I want to maintain the integrity. Unless it was actually like some kind of a deal or something like that, then contractually there's something there, or to be an ambassador with the company or something like that. But I maintain the integrity of my opinion, and nobody can pay for that. So when it comes to certain things, it's like, okay, well, Canon don't send me no checks. Canon don't send me no checks. Sony don't send me no checks. Fuji don't. So it's like if I recommend something, just like I was recommending somebody, like you guys have heard me talk about camcorders. I'm like, camcorders are a waste of money for most people. And it wind up being, I was talking, it's like, hey, here's what I need. Here's where I'm at. And here's where I'm thinking. I was like, I think for you, a camcorder would actually be best in this scenario, this unique scenario. Whereas for most people, it wouldn't be. It'd be a waste of money. So it's like, I recommend what I feel like is most honestly going to be the best bet. And that's not just taking into consideration features and feature sets, but like you as a person, are you keen on actually learning how to use this stuff? Or do you think if you just own it, turn it on, you'll get a beautiful image? And this is like, or do you plan on investing in learning? Because it's like learning, and obviously it's not at you, Adam, but it's like learning is like learning your cameras or getting one to work. If it's not just an investment in the gear, it's an investment in the time to learn how to use it effectively. And if you're not going to learn how to use it effectively, don't waste your money. And most people are like, oh yeah, but I don't want a webcam. It's like, maybe you need a webcam so that you can just get busy about actually learning to do video and being consistent, kind of a thing. Because it's like buying a new piece of gear ain't gonna make you more consistent. It's not gonna do anything for you other than introduce a learning curve. You introduce too many learning curves, and now you've just created a circle and a loop for yourself that's gonna be very hard for you to get out of, especially if you don't know how you learn, you don't know how you learn best, and you don't know when the cutoff is. Some people want to order a ton of stuff, and it's just like, do you have the capacity and the competency to learn all this stuff in the time frame that you're saying? It's like, maybe let's not do that. Maybe let's watch some tutorials first and use a phone, or get a software and use the phone, kind of a thing. It's just like, So that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to cameras, nobody pays me for nothing. My advice, my things are like, I try to give honest recommendations just based on my use case and having wasted my own money with stuff. So, saying, is that a Sigma or a Sony lens? This is a Sigma 16. This is the Sony 10-18 f4 lens. So most of my lenses are Sony lenses. The only third-party lens that I have currently for the Sony cameras is the Sigma 16. Everything else is a Sony branded lens. And this makes my sixth lens, which is the most lenses I've ever had for a camera system. Because usually I'll just get a kit lens and get the prime lens. Once I found my focal length that works for me, I'll get a prime lens, and then I'll wait about a good year or so, a year and a half before I buy another one, because I need to make this focal length work. Obviously, it's ideal for my recording space. and then you can use the kit lens to fill in the gaps or whatever else, and then I'll invest in it, because I wouldn't invest this much money into a camera ecosystem if I didn't think I was going to be with the system long term. I have no intentions of leaving Sony, so I was like, let me go ahead and pick up my array of lenses now, because before it's just like, I'm not buying a whole bunch of lenses for a brand that I'm not going to stay with. So, but yeah, so most of them are going to be Sony lenses. Nothing wrong with Sigma and Tamron. It's just, that's just kind of how it worked out. We got Ecamm Live official in the house. Good to see you, Ecamm. Glad that you are here. So everybody say cello to Ecamm. Saying, man, I always miss the good stuff. Saying you missed that I had to harass Miss D. He didn't do too bad. Adam saying I had a 70-foot Ethernet cable so I can stream in my dining room. Listen, when I went to the electronics store and I was asking for a specific Ethernet cable at a specific length, they kind of looked at me sideways like, what are you doing? I'm like, mind your business and just tell me the aisle I need to go to. And so it just, so that's why I just prefer to order some things from Amazon or like B&H or Adorama or something. K-Walk Comedy saying, I've been using the virtual cam in Ecamm in StreamYard. Is that wrong? Yes, and we're deleting your account for Ecamm. We're not having your nonsense, okay? No, I mean, use what works. That's always my thing. Use what works. And so if you needed, like, for example, I know you were saying, like, you needed access to be able to bring on people, Skype wasn't going to work for you, and on my older computer, it wasn't going to work for me, so it's like I couldn't do anything with it, just because I didn't have enough processor and enough RAM to, make it make sense, so there's nothing I could really do about it. So if that's what you needed to do because you needed to use it, then so be it. But now you have options, so you don't need to use it no more. So if you don't change your ways, we're deleting your account. No, just kidding. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Got to do what you got to do. Kathy saying, I love multiple cameras, but I do online cooking classes. That would be actually really cool, Kathy, if you did, because you could have one. And the angles can be specific to certain cameras. So if I was doing a cooking show, you could have one for your prep table and things like that. I honestly set it up just like a regular show. And you can run cables up instead of running cables down so you don't trip or, whatever the case is. But I definitely would have multiple camera angles in a kitchen setup. I would have like my bar set up or your prep table, like maybe one half is the cooktop and maybe the other half is the prep station. I'd have an over the top range, and something like this, a lot of people don't think about this. They think that they need a C-stand or these big, like you could, if your camera is small enough, like any mirrorless, you can get one of these boom arms. Little scissor arm. These cost $12. You can clamp it onto a table and have a camera hang over or a microphone hang over or both. Where's my friction arm? Oh, crap. I'm dropping things. Pause for the calls. Because where's my friction? All right. Yeah, pause for the calls. I'll be right back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Give me about 30 seconds. And we're back. So this is what I wanted to show you. Now, I tested this brand. I'm not a fan of this brand, but I am a fan of the device. So I'm going to get the one by Manfrotto. And this is just called a friction arm. And basically, you loosen this bolt here, and it loosens the other ones. And you could clamp this onto the handle of a pot even and have it hooked over, so that you have an angle, like it could be something like a webcam, it could be something like a GoPro. In that instance, I would probably use something like a GoPro or coming off the rangefinder. I get super creative with those kind of things because you have a lot of things that could be visually appealing. So something like a friction arm, I think this is like the 11-inch one, and you can have multiple connections. You can swap these out for a lot of different things. I've been playing with this for different angles in the car, and for the vlog that I wanted to do with me being in the car, I'm going to be playing around with multiple angles, so I got one of these. Because the little handle that hooks like over the passenger doors, I call it the "Are you scared of my driving" handles? And so you can hook it there. And so like have some creative angles and things like that using GoPros or no pros, which is like basically third party knockoff action cameras, just to get you some different angles and use something that has clean HDMI and get you some different angles. But I think you get super creative with that. Shoot, have you a whole gosh darn show. And so so let's see here. All right, let me go through the chat. I'm catching up. You have to be from down south to know about square. I'm not from the South, but I did live in Alabama for quite some time, and my family is from down south as well. So, but that one is something purely mine. Nobody else in the family says that, and they always say something like, "You're not even from here anymore. You're from Alabama." So it is what it is. But yeah, I lived in Alabama for a long time. Then came here to geek out and stayed for the big smile energy. I appreciate that, Doc Ra. We give smiles all day. Val, peace. Good to see you saying a good boyfriend that sells drugs sometimes. OMG, that's hilarious. You know what? People will make excuses that, and if you're just joining the stream, that was from before. It's just like, you know, you just can't. You gotta have balance. Good balance. When it comes to certain things. So we got a request for a channel review, and let us take a look-see and see what we got here. So Taty Works saying, please review the channel. So when I type in your name, the very first thing that I see is not your name or your channel. So that lets me know that when it comes to your name, you're not probably adding that in the tags and the titles and the descriptions and things like that, because I'm getting Tasty Works, you know, that's coming up. So we don't want that. We want your channel. So now I have to dig and I have to find, you know, what it's called, go through the filter, and let's go to the type being channel, and let's see if it comes up. Nope, we don't see it. So that doesn't mean you don't get a channel review. I just need to find your channel now. But so that's the first thing when it comes to, like, anytime somebody's looking for your channel, it's kind of like handing out a business card in the bathroom. It's just not the right time, right kind of a thing. So when you have where you are trying to get somebody to find your YouTube channel, what are they going to search for the most? That's why I always throw it in. I don't go based off of the link first. I just throw it in the search, and then if it comes up, are you coming up in search or not? And if you're not, then we have some issues that we need to take a look at when it comes to finding you. So now I got to go in the chat, find your name. Let's see here. Let me find your channel. Or you got to throw the link in the chat so I can actually find it. Because otherwise, I won't be able to find you. So that's the frustrating thing, is like, if you don't have, your channel's not coming up, I can't find it. So you probably can't drop the link, huh? Just don't put the .com together or whatever, but you'll have to do something. So I got to find your channel. If I can't find it, I can't review it. But that's always the first thing. And so, like, real quick, just to kind of at least give that tip there. So example, most people don't know what Entree Woman TV means. They don't know how to even pronounce it. They, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, what? Is it a food channel? Like, what? Entree who? And so if they're going to type in my name. So if they type in my name, this is what YouTube is telling me. Obviously, the Canon M50 is coming up, or Diana Gladney. So it's just like, oh, yeah, this person. They hit enter. They expect to see you. And so the first thing that comes up is my name. Not because of anything other than I have authority for this search term and phrase being my name. And so you'll see the live stream is actually coming up. You'll see the previous last video that I had did before, and you'll see some interviews and other things that are listing my name. You specifically got Owen video, my brother from another mother on there, interview that we did on BeLive.tv. So you'll see other stuff that comes up with other people's names. Like if they are using it, say, hey, this is the interview we had with such and such. I don't want only these people to come up. They're not looking for them or an interview. They'd be like, oh, that's cool, or that looks interesting. Let me go watch it. They're looking for my name. And so they have to find it based on the channel. And so even if I do nothing else, I'll add into a actual live stream. I'll add it in the chat, not in the chat, but I'll add it in the tags of any video, my name, so that initial search, and even like Entree Woman TV, I'll throw that in there and stuff like that as well, because I want you to be able to find it by the most common thing that you would search for. So when it comes to channel reviews, you definitely got to be able to have your channel found initially, or the way that people would search for something outside of the phrases as well, because it's no, like, in some ways there are social media aspects of YouTube, and in some ways it's not. So in the same way that, you could put in somebody's handle or something, you can't really do that. You can, but you can't on YouTube. Like, it's not the platform behavior. And so, yeah. So Doc Rock saying, I want a GoPro, but I'm gonna wait for DJI to come with it. I'm waiting kind of for that too. Osmo Action has been sitting kind of cold in the market for a minute. I want to see if they come up with something else as well. We got a super sticker saying from $4.99 from Doc Rock, saying character saying you rock whilst showing their pumped bicep. And I saw that graphic or what have you, but Ecamm is just going to write out the words. Thank you, Doc Rock. I appreciate it, brother. From my house to yours. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Chad Bing saying, oh, you do channel reviews too? Yeah, if you want your channel review, you can have that done. Just throw your link or how you can be found in the chat. It won't let you drop the copy and paste link, but at least the channel ID has to be some kind of way to find you. Saying, I'll send you some coffee. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We'll talk. I'll send you the address. Saying I'm using the Sigma 16mm too. That lens is the bee's knees. This is one of the few, not one of the few, but this is one of the things I'll say that when it comes to YouTube and videos and stuff, like, this is one of those pieces of gear and equipment that the hype is real. I was just like, man, I'm gonna try this thing and probably end up sending it back. Yeah, no, it was good. It's been really good, and just honestly one of my most favorite lenses. Dead Stock Barbershop, good to see you, said, just joined. I had a question. How do you decide when to zoom in and when your talking head shot? I love your zoom ins and zoom out. Not sure what it's called. So when it comes to like, if I'm doing a video and I decide if I want to punch in or not, I can kind of simulate that here a little bit. Let me pull up a little tool real quick and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So let me go here and I'm gonna rearrange some stuff and zoom out a little bit. And I am, yes, still doing all this in Ecamm Live. I'm not doing anything specific. All right, so this may be the main shot, and this is like an editing tip, and so that's what he's asking. When I'm doing a tip or something like that, and I'm saying, like, and this is what you want to know because this is the next thing that you want to know, and then it stays there for a time, and then eventually I zoom back out. That's an editing technique when it comes to just being able to edit for audience retention. On YouTube, one of the most important things that you can have is audience retention, watch time, engagement, other factors other than viewers and other than subscribers. Like, those are the things that kind of like we care about. You need to be concerned about the metrics that YouTube cares about. And so if I'm trying to teach on something and I want to increase the dynamic of that or bring a point home and I want you to pay attention, it's like I want you to really understand what I'm about to say because this is important. And then I want to come in as just like, you need to be paying attention to audience retention. That's the point. Like, either I know in my content that I'm going to transition into something that is going to be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more engaging. I don't have the exact numbers right now, top of mind, but every so many seconds, I want to be able to bring it in so that there's a different dynamic, so that and you're visually engaged. Mentally, you're not thinking like, man, why I keep doing this? Like, you're not thinking like that because it's not that sporadic or that often. It's enough for you to be comfortable with it. And then maybe I'll do a transition and you'll find it that it's back at the wider angle. And so there are always things that you're doing that have points of engagement, things that are triggers to say, whether it's a lower third, whether it's something else that's coming up on the screen, or just like whatever the case, there are always things and points of engagement to draw your attention to the video and keep you engaged. If you are ever considering trying to learn to edit your own videos, most people, it's like, if I'm working with my clients, I don't just teach them like to go get an editor, if they don't want to learn to edit themselves, how to hire an editor and how to train your editor, even if you don't know how to edit. So if I was to hire an editor to edit my videos, there are certain components like that I would share with them, because there are certain things when it comes to teaching and training and education-based content that's important to keep your viewers visually engaged versus just having it one static shot that never changes. And so that's another thing why you want to do 4K videos at times, is so that even when you punch in, it's still extremely clear. So now moving on to the next point, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there are things, it's like you got to have I have a feeling for it now, because I've been editing for 4 years. I've been editing my own videos for 4 years consistently. Like, even if I'm not editing my own stuff, I'm editing something. Either I was editing stuff for church, I was editing stuff for a client. Like, I've been editing for a long time. And so specifically my videos for the longest time. And so that being the case, you get a feel for when something is getting dry, when something is getting boring. I don't really worry about that when it comes to live streams, because there are other points of engagement that when it comes up, I can bring your comment on the screen. I can move that thing around if I want to. If I go from one thing to the other, I could go to my title intro and bring that kind of stuff on. I can go to bring a guest on. I can go to my preview screen. There's all kind of different dynamics and things like that I could bring in. We could switch it all the way up again for live streaming. So these are things that I would do live, not necessarily editing, but you want those same elements. So get some music going. If we were getting ready to do the Wheel of Wonder and give away all those things, then I would have this set up so I could go over to the Wheel of Wonder, spin it. Okay, so let's pause for a second. I just did a ton of stuff. However, all of a sudden, like, y'all start getting excited, like, oh, we finna play the Wheel of Wonder. It's not finna happen. Not today. There are a lot, if you pay attention to what just happened over the last 10 seconds, a lot of things happen. Maybe I zoomed in, maybe I zoomed out. I brought a comment on the screen. I'm now taking that comment down. I started some music that was to lead you into a whole other setup, changed the way the screen looked. The Wheel of Wonder came. I clicked on it. It starts spinning. It has sound effects going with it. And when it pops on, the actual thing that you would win if we were playing the Wheel of Wonder, you get an icon. Like, so that stuff is happening because these apps and the tools and stuff like that have it. But if I'm editing a video, I'm editing that stuff in as well, because I want you to stay engaged and to be visually appealed and interested in the content. If I'm just sitting here and this is the video, and some videos work like that, it depends on the person and sometimes the voice and the aesthetic. Some people are very easy to listen to. I didn't feel like I was early on. And if you're trying to find your voice, you need things to kind of help pick up the pace. I know sometimes it's even hard in the live streams to stay with it and just like, all right, I got to bounce. Sometimes maybe you don't want to, and maybe sometimes you do. Those elements help people to stay more engaged and excited about the content, because maybe you're bringing home a point or you're talking about something that's more important to them in a way that helps them to communicate something that they actually care about. And then you zoom back out, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like those editing techniques and things that I've learned over the years of learning and doing videos myself, editing videos with a purpose. I'm not just doing all that stuff to be annoying or to, you know what I'm saying, have a whole bunch going on. But it's editing with the intent to know how to visually engage the audience, keep them engaged and learning. So most of my clients are education-based content creators. So they're teaching something. Yes, you're interested in the topic, but you also don't want to be bored to death. And so not only do I need to edit the video for audience retention, I need it for that to be engaging. And I also need you, no matter what kind of learning style that you have, I need to be competently aware of how can I communicate this the best. And so that's why you use elements of B-roll, music, sound effects, titles, all of that stuff. And it's several things like that I'll go and break down, like when I'm working with coaching clients and stuff like that, to like, even if you don't know how to do that stuff, and even if you don't want to learn to do that stuff, that's fine. You still need to understand it so that you can teach and train your editor for that. Because most people, they'll just go to Fiverr and hire somebody, and then that person sucks and they've done a bunch of stuff, but it's like they didn't edit for retention. Client doesn't listen, and I'll go pull up their metrics in the coaching session, and 3 to 5 seconds into the video, you'll see this big spike and it crashes into the ground. Because people clicked on it, your thumbnail was good, your title was good, you came up in search, you did all the things and all the pre-work that we talked about, and then when they click, it nosedives. And I mean nosedives. And it's like, why is that? Because your music was annoying as hell. Or because your voice was, you know what I'm saying, the audio was way, way, way too loud. Or it's just like you're not paying attention to several things that has to happen in the edit. I'm like, did you check the video? It's just like, no, I didn't check. All right, then. Now we know why. You know, so there are a lot of things a lot of components that kind of go into it. It's just not just in, out, like it's layers. Video is always layers, so it's layers to why I do that. Saying also, is there a way to record my screen with Ecamm and not go live to YouTube? Yeah. So when you are on, and it's not going to be able to show you the full thing, but this is what you would see, like, or something similar when you're doing your own stuff. And this finish button, obviously, when I'm ready to end the stream, I would go here. But down here, you'll have that drop down selector box so that you can go from Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or what have you. There is one option in there that says record only. Any of my videos that you've seen me do at my desk like this, or even if I pull the desk back and I kind of got the computer or something, like, I'm more than likely, like 99% of the time, I'm using Ecamm. If that's the case, that's a recorded video that I'm uploading. I'm using that record only feature. Back in the day, if I was using my Canon camera, then that would just be via USB. But because I just live stream with the one camera and it has clean HDMI out, and I'll use other connections and kind of get a little bit more dynamics with the camera that I'm doing. I'm using other ports, so I'll just use the cam link, so I have access to still use some other stuff on the Sony cameras. Doc Rocky distracted me, saying that's the OSHIT handle, the little handle for the passengers. Anytime I see somebody grab that, now you've pushed it, okay? I'm not kidding. You get in my car and you grab one of those handles, I'm going to make you grab it harder. I remember a coworker's like, oh, now here's the thing. I enjoy getting places expeditiously, all right? So I'm very time conscious. That being the case, like I would be leaving. You are prone to get hit by my car when I would leave work. When I have clocked out and I have left, you liable to get hit if you're in my way. I am leaving expeditiously, okay? And I got one of my coworkers in the car, and everybody's like, "Oh man, you see Diana? She's flying like a bat out of hell." You know that I'm leaving, and so, man, when I say, I was like, "Oh, we want to go to lunch." Okay, I'm driving. Okay. And been talking all this stuff on the inside parts of the office. Oh, I'm about to show you. When I say stop playing, I'm like, oh no, we're going for the gold today. Because you want to talk about me driving fast? I'm going to show you driving fast. So needless to say, I should have been a NASCAR, a NASCAR driver. All right, so we got Tatty Works, T-A-T-Y Works. All right, so we got the YouTube handle. So we're going to type that in and take a look for our channel review that we had requested. And so I always do two things when I'm doing channel reviews, and that is to show and share what it looks like from a consumer's, like somebody that's going to consume your content, a viewer's perspective, and then what that looks like as far as like components and things like that. So let's jump into Tattyworks. I'm not sure how you would say that YouTube channel. So thanks, Doc Rock, for sharing that. So let's hop over. And so first thing that we see here, which I paused the video, which is why it's spinning, is that you have what I call a welcome mat. So well done there, because the first thing that we're going to see is this welcome mat, and this is taking up a considerable amount of real estate on the YouTube channel homepage. And so this automatically starts playing when somebody first gets to your channel. So the fact that you have this, so 12 points there. I don't keep track of the points, but I'm just saying that. But so great job there. You have your own header and things like that. Draw like a pro. Brilliant. Because most people make their headlines on the channel banner art for themselves. Or it's something like, it's just really about themselves. It's nothing to communicate how you plan to serve the person that's watching, even if it's just fun videos, family vlogs that make you laugh, not family vlogs that I think are funny. Most people put the family vlogs I think are funny as the header, and it's just like, how does that make the person that clicked on your channel care about anything of what you're doing? So draw like a pro is a brilliant headline because it speaks to that I always teach, which is who are you helping with what specifically. So you're going to help me to draw like a pro. I'm not familiar with Procreate, but if you are, which I'm sure is an app, if you are in that space, Procreate Tools, you got the logo. Again, brilliant move there. Tutorials by Taddyworks or listen, tell me if I'm saying it wrong, okay? But brilliant. You got a little pen icon here. All of these things, like this is damn near, I would say, a perfect type of thing, other than if you have a free giveaway or something, maybe instead of the Instagram handle, put something there so that people could, like, if you got a free guide or something to build your email community, if you're building a business around this or something, and then you can have like the Instagram second or whatever, Twitter and stuff like that. But fantastic job there. Let's see what's going on when I hit play on this video.
The long-awaited, exciting Procreate 5X update is out. Let's see what's new. The first big change is about color palette.
So usually I'll suggest somebody put like who this channel is for type of a thing. I'm okay with this one though, because one, the first several seconds, which we only watch 10 seconds of it, is more visually appealing. You're already doing Procreate tutorials, and this may be something that's relevant to that community. A recent update that's a week ago. I'm absolutely okay with something like this being done because it's still speaking to the person. And if I'm looking for Procreate tutorials, if you're coming up in search around those things, generally it's like this video could be around, you know, the how you're helping the people, but you're just kind of jumping into that. I'm perfectly fine with that. So I love that actually. And good job as far as the editing, even if you have somebody edit your videos or you're doing them yourself. So brilliant job there. So first thing is first, you have some furniture in the house, meaning there are tutorials. So most people have the uploads. That's fine. You have popular uploads, and then you have how to draw animals. And then the buck stops there. So before I say anything further, let's go to your playlist and let's see how many that you have. Okay, so you have 11 here, Procreate Made Easy and how to draw animals, and how many videos. Okay, so you're not long into this, but you've done a freaking fantastic job. I love all of this, and your thumbnails are great. And that's, I wouldn't say it's easy, but I would say you're able to be more creative with that because you are somebody that draws and stuff like that already. And so a few things to be careful of because of that. Not everything that you do in graphic work will convert as well sometimes on YouTube. So something like this here, this Procreate tips and features, this gets a little busy. For example, I would probably do something else there, or just kind of like remove these flower looking things or whatever, because it's distracting a little bit from the actual thing, and probably make this a little bit bigger. It's already kind of big, but just to remove some of the distractions. So something like this is very easy to see. Draw like a pro, something with a tablet or whatever. It's a Procreate tutorial, like it's speaking to the person. So brilliant job there. How to paint a cow, how to paint a cute cow, excuse me. So this is like, you're doing a fantastic job. There's not a whole lot here, just some few things I would tweak. So and here's a tip that I would say for everybody around this. If you pay attention to, she's hitting the things that I always talk about, your titles being two things: the human element, or it's relating to the human element, and it's also relating to the system algorithm that helps to show it to the humans that these videos are created for. And so if you take a look at her channel, you'll see it says cute cow illustration. Somebody that's probably trying to learn is typing in cute cow illustration or how to draw a cow or something like that. There's something to suggest that her related tags could be cute cow illustration, how to draw a cow, how to draw a cute cow, how to draw a cute cow 2020. Like, it can go in with related and associated tags. The other point of that is it's like an easy Procreate tutorial. Let's go ahead and click on this video. I'm extremely intrigued here. So I do have it muted. I'm going to hit pause. Fantastic job, by the way. I can't draw a stick man straight. So that'll give you some insight into how well I can freaking draw. Okay. But let's break this down because, like I said, you're doing an amazing job. It's very few things that I would change here. And then I'll give you some tips as you're moving forward. So, cute cow illustration, that's important, and that's a thing. Easy Procreate tutorial, and then the fact Procreate tutorial is in that, I can already tell you these are probably things that people are searching for, or easy, fast, simple. Those are words that like our viewer would care about. And then it's like shading with textures master. You doing so many things right and so many things well. This is brilliantly done, properly exposed on the thumb. Like, freaking fantastic job. If there's the Bees Knees Hall of Fame for a channel review thus far, you would get it, my sister. So it's how are you ranking with a few things? Okay, so you're coming up for 1 and 2 here, how to draw Procreate. So let's, and cow illustration, so we talked about that. So far as the titles, I think you can rank this video a little bit easier with a few things, and we want to think phrases, so you're very much so already onto the right path. So let's take a look as how to draw a cow. Okay, now depending on, and you being the expert in the drawing space, you can adjust this to what you need. But if we start looking at how people are searching for this, how to draw a cow for kids, how to draw a cowboy, video idea, how to draw a cowboy hat, another video idea, how to draw a cow face. This is something that we could speak to because it's also related. How to draw a cow easy. This is something that I would add to that title. How to draw a cow step by step easy. Seems like that would speak to that. I would add that as a related tag because those are things that people that are searching for that, like, there's no reason you shouldn't come up and search for this, for all of the things that I saw. And something like, even though it's a lower ranking tag you have where it says the volume is 40 searches per month, that is still significant enough for you to at least take up the space. Why not come up for first in that if you're already ranking for the other things, in addition to not only would you start showing up for the ones that you intended to show up for, like the main one that you're going for, like the Procreate tutorial or what have you, you also can start to show up and expose people to, like, yeah, you're drawing on paper. Here's one with Procreate that may make it easier or better for you. Why not show up for this and start taking up the space here? You got this video that's a year old, 6 years old, 1 year old, 7 years old. You could crush that one easy. So I would pick that one up, throw it in there as well. And then 2, this is using keywords everywhere and TubeBuddy, in addition to how to draw a cow easy step by step for beginners. TubeBuddy is helping us out with some related searches. I would throw, you know what I'm saying? Like, dominate the space that you're in for the videos that you're creating, if it's something that relates to that title. So you're doing a fantastic. I love everything about what I'm seeing, and you're just getting started. You're going to be massively and wildly successful. Just keep pushing through with that. The other thing that I would suggest to fill out your homepage a little bit more when it comes to your channel, you already have made it undeniable that this is a channel, if you're trying to learn how to draw using Procreate and do it in a very easy way, that you should be watching this channel. You should be subscribed here. We want to further make it undeniable for people to say yes, even if they see nothing past this initial video here, right? So we want to get them in a what's called a yes pattern when it comes to, for example, marketing and business. We want to get them into a yes pattern, like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, I do want to draw easy. Oh, she sounds nice and easy to listen to. The music's not annoying. Blah blah blah. It's not too loud. So what we want to do is, instead of just only making it like what other, and here's another pro tip here for all of y'all listening, depending on if you are trying to rank titles and like you're doing the work like she is here, then we now want to start to pay attention to things like playlists. This is why playlists become effective, because it can begin to make it undeniable that somebody can look just at our homepage and become a subscriber because they like, oh, I've been looking for a channel like this. That's what you want them to have a sense of relief. And so even though you have the one playlist on here that says how to draw animals, we want to also look at playlists like, if you're new here or if you're new to Procreate, watch these videos. Outside of your recent uploads, because it seems like you're going to be doing weekly videos, so you're already consistent and doing a fantastic job. Well, the other thing that I would start to do is make right here, instead of a popular upload, if you're new to Procreate, start here. If you're new to this channel, start here. And then add in some descriptions for your, add in some descriptions so that you can say, like, if you're new to Procreate, blah, 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 you have these many characters to communicate the point of that playlist, just so, like, you fill in those blanks and stuff like that. And again, it's not going to make or break the channel per se, but it does help in keeping somebody from having to do digging to go through the videos to see what else. And if you have videos that are speaking to different sections and sectors of the video, so like you have one on patterns, you have this other one about features, you can create other playlists that share some of those same videos. It doesn't just have to be like one video, one playlist. If it is relevant, related, and would help somebody when they're finding your channel, absolutely do something like that. And making sure that you have relevant playlists, so when they just scroll through a little bit, they like, oh hell yeah, and they hit subscribe, and then they go and start watching and consuming that content, because they can dive into a playlist that makes sense. So if you think about the things that, for example, let's type in Procreate tutorial for beginners, Procreate tutorial lettering, Procreate tutorial animation, on and on and on and on, without the Apple Pencil. So if you know how to do that or something like that, you could create a series of things that are of interest to the people. So like Procreate tutorial for beginners, this is a playlist that should live on your channel. This is something you absolutely should be doing. So that's where I would say start there, or pick up from where you started, but you're doing a fantastic job already. So great job on your channel. She said, I know it's still asked, did you mean Tasty Works? That's funny. Tatiana. Okay, Tatiana. I can remember Tatiana. I'm going to screw up the shorter version. So nice to meet you, Tatiana. But your channel is amazing. So good to see you. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Thanks for sharing that. A lot of great tips in that channel review, but you're doing a freaking fantastic job. Super pumped and proud for everything that you've done. You can tell you're putting a lot of work in the channel, and it's paying off for you. Mike Castle Life saying, guess who I saw on TubeBuddy as a content creator artist highlight? Talking about me or Tatiana? I'm like, I don't draw nothing. What? Am I? I know it was on TubeBuddy's homepage or whatever. I don't know. You know, just let the Lord use you. That's all I can say. So I guess so. So thank you. So our SDI cables only for video cameras. The thing is that you can take and get HDMI to SDI. This is from a previous conversation for those of you that are curious. And I said 1 hour. It's an hour 40 minutes. Y'all play too much. All right, so SDI cables, you can get an SDI to or HDMI to SDI conversion cable, because you don't have like the SDI type ports. Those are traditionally you would see on cinema cameras, some pro level camcorders, as they would be categorized as, but you wouldn't see that on like a mirrorless camera. You specifically have to get those conversion cables and then run it that way, or a conversion box or something like that. But yeah, so let's see here. Doc Rock giving me the second person that's asking for a review. So we have Chad B asking for a channel review. Let's take a look and see what we got here. So let's see here. So if you guys have any final questions after I do this channel review, I'm gonna run through the last few questions that we have, and then from there we'll wrap up, because I have to do a Q&A session for what is it? So yesterday was the YouTube Marketing Summit for Social Media Examiner, and I have the Q&A session today and the networking event. So I gotta go. It's later today. I got things to do. All right. So if you got any questions or anything, you can definitely drop that down below. Alrighty. So let's do this channel review. So I'm not gonna search via name, but depending on what your name would be, if it doesn't come up in search, start getting it to come up in search. All right, let's take a look here. So we have Chad B. Let's hit play on this video and see what we get. Alrighty, and stop. So we got about 5 to 6 seconds of nothing. Too slow. So even though this is a 9-minute video, like, I would say no to this. Now, you don't change anything of the video. You already got 21,000 views or whatever on it, which is fine. But if you're going to have it for a channel trailer, we have 6 seconds of nothing. So I just clicked on your video. I maybe saw it start playing. Maybe I thought it was on mute, for example, if I'm a viewer. I don't know what is going to happen next, but I'm not waiting for that to happen. I'm going to skip. So probably in analytics, you can watch for this video and see what happens within your first 10 to 15 seconds of the audience retention, like I talked and kind of dove into that earlier. But it's like, as a channel trailer, this is a no-go for me, because it's that 5 to 6 seconds and we just have silence. It's not muted, but it's just like we 5 to 6 seconds in and there's nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would not make this the channel trailer. If you have something else that kind of speaks to you doing drones, I guess, then again, this, again, like I said, I guess. So it says having fun with tech. I don't know if it's drone specific. Before I scroll any further, I'm just assuming. And so that's the same thing a viewer would do. It's just like, okay, I see you. I see this person. I see a drone. It's like having fun with tech. Is it like phones and stuff? Is it drones and stuff? Or like, you know what I'm saying? So, and this suggests like, oh, a Mavic Mini. It's like, okay, maybe. Is it drones? But we'll see. And then again, same thing like I talked about on the last one, furniture, having furniture in the house. So now this speaks to more drone stuff. Okay, so if it's more specifically drones, then let's just go ahead and say that. Doesn't mean you're going to box yourself in content-wise, but it does mean that we want to be specific with letting people know what it is that we're doing. Testing and trying drones so you don't have to. Maybe that could be the tagline or the headline on the thing, so people know, like, oh, okay, like he's obviously going to be testing a lot of drones or doing a lot of comparisons. Maybe if I'm in the market to buy a drone, that's important to me. So you want to speak to the thing that's important to the person that would click on the channel to see if they want to subscribe or not. And so, or to see what else that you have. Let's see here. So like I said, it looks like mostly drone stuff. The only thing that I would be concerned with is contrast. And Doc Rock, he's in the chat. He does a lot of graphic work and stuff like that, more familiar than I am with certain things. And I will always be concerned about, is this easy to read, or do they have to stress and figure it out? Because if we look at, for example, let's take a look here. So if I put this down to what you might see something like on a phone, now it's super hard to read or to see. Like, I can't see that this says 4K cinematic, or it's kind of like yellow and green is too close on the color spectrum. So it's not super easy to see. The words are kind of thin, kind of a deal. It's just about getting to a point to make it easy for people to consume your content and not have to think too much. So I would be concerned and just kind of look into what else you could probably do for the thumbnails to get it more visually appealing. Because it's drone footage, you're getting an aerial shot that most people have no idea what looks like above their head. And so you can be creative with the angles and maybe showcase, for example, like this one looks really cool because it's the drone in midair, which is what we would see. It's a little bit more dynamic, so that's pretty cool. Version 1.1, whatever. Okay, looks like an update video or what have you. Cool. Just judging what the video might be about simply based on the thumbnail. And so, it's like I said, again, it's not, your videos are doing well, and that's fine. I just would, to get a even better reach out of whatever next new videos that you would do, it's just like something like this is cool. Like this kind of video, it's just like, it just looks normal. It looks pretty cool or whatever. But at the same time, can you easily read what the words say, yes or no? Or could you pop yourself out a little bit more, outline around yourself and separate that from the background or whatever, so that you could more easily see what's actually taking place. And so it just I would say, look at those that are in your niche and in your field, specifically for drones. For example, like a channel called Flight Path, they do a lot of specifically drones and tech and stuff like that, maybe more specific to your space. And so if we look at their kind of a thumbnails, you can see the contrast and the difference between dark background, white text, dark background, like and on, still the thing in flight, but some kind of an image. And you could do that where you have the drone separate. These could be two separate images, so you don't need to necessarily get the picture right like that. But I was like, I would focus on making it a little bit more visually appealing and contrasty, so that it's that much easier for people to pay attention to what your thumbnails are. And so again, just pay attention, even like for this, the things to know plus an update, a little hard to see and kind of small, especially when you're looking at it on a mobile device or something like that. But overall, you would get the gist and want to see if you want to click on it or not. By looking at the image, looks pretty cool. And then you look on, excuse me, let me go back. Looking at the video, seeing the thumbnail, and then like deciding if you want to move on from there. But you can see that the font, you got the text taking up a big amount of space, and then you have the font and the text taking up the other half of the screen. So wisely use the screen real estate that you have when it comes to video. And for your thumbnails, you're already getting pretty good views and things like that. So same tips and rules apply that I did before on the channel review. For the drawing channel, but specifically like for your space, like what is working, why is it working? Let's reverse engineer that, apply your own pizzazz to that, and be able to create content that is easily digestible, that's not watching any of the videos. This is like pre-click stuff. And so the fact that you're getting a lot of clicks, even with that, you can really increase your click-through rate and the impressions and stuff like that. YouTube's already going to show the video, obviously, for some of the other stuff that you're doing, relevancy, whatever. So somebody that's a channel like Flight Path, you probably would come up in their suggested stuff. It's like, so if somebody's watching drones or you're into it, you click and you watch this one person, YouTube is trying to serve you, the viewer. So they're like, hey, would you like to see this other person? That now becomes an impression. Or if they're searching for something, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you showing up? So make it easy for people to click on you, see your stuff, and be like, oh, I want to see that. Because all of us clicked on a video, watched it, and then went to something else that looked better in the side panel, like, oh, I want to watch that instead. Or it looks like it's going to be better, solely based off of the thumbnail. So I would say, because you have, and you're in a space and a niche that's pretty freaking interesting and would be different. Yes, a lot of people have drones, but you would have your own unique spin on it. You doing your own style, your own vibe. You're your own person. I'm not the only person doing channel reviews. I'm not the only person doing talking about YouTube business and the like, but you know, so do your own thing and just like, you know, show up in your own space that's unique for you. But at the same time, you know, I would say pay attention to some of the things that's kind of working in your space. So I think I got that there. So, and I appreciate you, Doc Rock, for answering some of those questions, saying what type of deck, if that's the right word, are you using to control the zoom in, the lower thirds, and the guest questions and stuff. This is Ecamm, all in Ecamm. No Stream Deck, no none of that. Let's go back to the live demo mode real quick. And so this is the chat here. This is y'all. And so if I come up here to, not that one, that's the music. These camera effects, which is just this little, I guess I can make that go away. Just a little pencil tool here. It's going to bring up the camera effects window. This is where I would add in a LUT. If I want to add in a LUT, change it to log footage in the camera and then paste a LUT on there. And then if I want to zoom in and out, there's a zoom in and out feature, which the sun came out, so I'm a little overexposed, looking a little pasty today. So yeah, it's kind of bright, ain't it? So, alrighty. Don't need to be that bright. So that's where I would do that if I wanted to change or adjust things, and I can adjust how much it is and where the position is and all of that. If I want to zoom and pan, I can adjust my temperature and warm that up a little bit for as the white balance, or if I want to adjust my saturation and add some more warmth to that or more color saturation to the image, then I can do that and have that specific. And then if you have a green room background, which I think I've played around with this before and showed y'all that, there's a tunnel. They added some stuff. So you, obviously I don't have a green screen behind me, but they added apparently some more stuff. The green screen actually works really well. I just don't have green screen behind me. And so they got some other stuff. But that's the camera effects window when you're doing Ecamm Live. So if you want to check that out, I would say do so, because it's a lot of fun and some cool stuff in there. All right, so let's run through these comments real quick. So Debut Guitar saying hello, brother, good to see you. So, excuse me. Alicia always saying, "Hey, we're live. Good to see you. Glad that you're here." Wait, I saw yeah, Ross from Livestream Pro saying, "Hey, Diana, good to see you, Ross. Glad that you're here." Alrighty, all right. Betty is saying, "Hi, sorry I'm late. Kid is down." That's why we need melatonin. Okay, stocks have increased to 50% by okay, since quarantine happened for everybody. 'Cause melatonin is the way to go. I saw, and I promise you I'm gonna get back to the stream. My sister and niece and nephews came over here. She was retwisting my hair. And we're sitting there watching. She's like, "Oh, what time is it?" She's like, "Get that melatonin out of my purse." When I say the baby went down, the oldest went down. She didn't need anything. She was already going out. And my nephew went. He just landed, and it was like, "Mommy, I'm tired." I'm like, this stuff is NyQuil for kids. It has to be. And so, no worries. We're almost right at wrapping it up, but replay is always available. But you're always welcome here, Betty, whenever you can get in. Super chat for Ross from Livestream Universe saying, "Would love a channel review." Oh, well, I appreciate that, Ross. Let's go ahead and take a look, which I already know you come up for Livestream Universe, but let's take a look, see and what we can do for Ross here. Ross Brand, the man. All right. And so let me see what other comments that I have here real quick. All righty. All right. So let's take a look at Ross's channel. And so as always, I'll review this as a consumer, somebody that's viewing the channel for the first time, and then dive into some tips, tactics, and techniques. All righty. So let's dive over. And so Ross comes up. Which I already knew to type in his name and stuff like that. So first things first, I am already subscribed, so I'm going to unsubscribe and mess up your metrics real quick so that I can see this from somebody that is not subscribed. And so, all right, so pause for the cause. So when I was subscribed, I didn't have a video dedicated for me. When I am unsubscribed, you do have a video here which speaks to the StreamYard Update 2020 and some other stuff that's about 58 seconds long, which is not bad. And then we have your live streaming resource here. So I get that the framing is built around the YouTube setup specifically. I would probably separate this out and take up more screen real estate there. And I would get a little bit more specific than your live streaming resource into the more of the how are you there live streaming resource. Like what specifically makes you the go-to man for certain things. So you can say your streaming resource for StreamYard live tutorials, updates, and you know what I'm saying? Like yours, like is it gear specific? Already answer those questions for them. And the fact that you have the subscribe button up here, I would utilize again more screen real estate that is specific. So we know we're going to have about a cutoff of about right here on mobile and on tablets. On desktop, we're going to get more of that real estate here. So I would make and expand out and use some more of that real estate, not just for mobile, but also for the desktop version. And so since you have the subscribe button there and it kind of stands out, go ahead and I would throw an arrow or something that speaks to it. If you're building your email list or something like that, replace that link with that because they are already giving us a subscribe button here, and as well as other things when we get to the end of this. For example, when we get to the end of this
congratulations to StreamYard.
All right. So that stops at 58 seconds. So already, and this is why I suggest to everybody to have this welcome mat, as I call it, because YouTube cares about making sure that people subscribe to your channel. They're going to give you a big thing that literally takes up the whole screen at the end of that. That's why it only needs to be so long, and then which is Ross's like 58 seconds. But you can add that specifically. Or you don't have to add it. They're going to do it anyway. You can add this video that's more relevant to them. Because you cover some other stuff other than StreamYard, unless you're switching gears a bit and going just full on for StreamYard, which is fine. I would suggest about the what. Again, how are you being that person? It could be a 30-second thing because they're going to subscribe anyway. And once they do subscribe, so let me go ahead and resubscribe here and refresh. Maybe that this update video doesn't belong as the welcome mat for people that are new to figuring out who you are and the vast variety of information that you cover, but it needs to be for those people that are subscribing, and that welcome mat would still go right there. I don't know how I got through kindergarten drawing like this. I'm just going to throw it out there. So it's like the welcome mat could be here for somebody that's a returning subscriber, because YouTube always gives you those two dynamics. And so that's what I would suggest when it comes to that. Also, like I said, that would give you the welcome mat here. You'd have those details or whatever, and you can update that video so it's relevant to whatever is most relevant to a returning subscriber. And then your stuff starts here. So like, what's the most important piece of content and stuff that's important to the viewer, the subscriber, or that person? And it will bring those playlists down a bit instead of it just jumping into the app. So for StreamYard, and if it is going to be more specific to StreamYard, this is starting to mimic more of the videos tab. I wouldn't do this. I would want to really get it some more space, add in some breathing space, because this just feels a little congested. I would give it some more breathing space, not everything just lateral. Break it up to some of that stuff more vertical with descriptions and stuff like that. Just because some of the thumbnails are following the same suit. So we want to give some kind of breathing space, some little feng shui, if you will, to the channel. And so I would have, if this is covering multiple variations of live streaming, add elements to the homepage that make it undeniable of the type of live streaming elements that you cover, who you do and do not serve, and the stuff you do or do not talk about. Because I know you got a ton of videos already, but what are the things that are going to be most important to them? So great group of guests, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, I'll see some people, like we see D Nim in there. I'm not sure who that is, but it says Hillary Silver. We see Daryl Eves. We see Luria. And so like those people are interesting people, but is this in a way that I would care about? So I would change that playlist name to something that is more specific, like how to grow your business using live streams, which is the talk that I just did yesterday. So it's like something that's specific to them. So it's just like great gear, why you need it. They probably already know that they need gear. We don't need to see you on all of those different ones. Live View Solo has a unique look, some orange and black characteristics. I would step away from some of the branding specifically for the business, because I know it's that those variations of the hue of the blue and the black and the white. I would step away from that. The Sennheiser E835. And it's like, these are older videos. If you're going to be doing newer things around it, or if you're not, you can still update the thumbnails. Showcase the actual thing. This looks like a talk show or Fox News kind of a show or something. I don't want to click on that. The Sony FDR X3000, if you're going to be using that in that capacity, how is this going to be used? So it's just about creating something that's a little bit more visually appealing when it comes to the things around what you're kind of covering when it comes to your content. I've already watched your stuff. Your sound, your audio is going to be fine, and things like that. Same rules apply when it comes to titles, tags, descriptions, and whatnot. But as far as the aesthetics, the breathing space, how congested is it when somebody sees your content versus how easy is it for them to digest? It's the same way where book covers go through a lot of frustration in the design process. If that person thinks that they're just going to throw a bunch of words and stuff like this, like nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to understand what that is. And so on YouTube, they're giving us on this channel homepage a certain amount of real estate to work with, and we want to just best utilize that as much as possible. And that's as much as I would say as far as that is concerned. Teddy Works saying, oh, wow, Don, you're the best. Thank you so much. I'll watch your review again after the live stream and take notes. My pleasure. No problem. Glad to be of service. Saying you're the best. So I appreciate that. Doc saying on mobile, that would hurt one's eyes to try and read. Also less word on the thumbnails. Yeah, so Doc kind of saying a lot of the same things we talked about before in some of the things for channel reviews. Betty saying, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Follow Diane on Instagram. She's the queen of reels. We did talk about the reels the last time. Actually, I try to get that out tomorrow. It's been a busy week, but I was going to be sharing a video on how to grow your business. Not really. I take that back. not how to grow your business using Reels, but how your business can use Reels, if that makes more sense, and just get more exposure and things like that. So we'll be taking a look into that. Chat being saying, thank you for the review. I had to walk away from the computer a bit. I just got back and saw you review my channel. Sure thing. And again, replay is always available for sure. Alrighty. So the American Prince Charles saying, guess who I saw on TubeBuddy as a content creator? Artist highlight. It was you. Congratulations. Hope that clears it up. Okay, well, I appreciate that. TubeBuddy, I almost started to wear their shirt today, but not today. But TubeBuddy is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun using the platform and things like that. And they're just valuable. So Catholic Marathon Mama, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying, Dad, you're such an inspiration. I've been going live for 2 weeks and a faithful little crew gather every day with me. That is amazing. Congratulations. I'm super pumped for you. Saying it's already so meaningful. And I wouldn't have had the courage without listening to you. I am so pumped for you. That is awesome. And I'm so glad you're developing a community using live streaming, and just keep at it, keep going, and just keep growing. It will grow. It's a lot of fun when you get to a point you have more people showing up, and then you have people hate about dark chocolate in your live streams, and that's a whole nother problem to deal with. Live streaming universe saying, thanks, very helpful. My pleasure, Ross. Glad to be of service. And that concludes, okay, as they say in some spaces, that concludes all of the comments that I have there. I believe I went through everybody. And so I don't even know why I put time limits on this. It's always 2 hours. There's no such thing as a short live stream here. However, there is an end of the live stream here. So thanks for watching today's live stream and joining and hopping on. Hope that you got a lot of value out of this stream. And it is always my pleasure to serve you. And we'll be back with another video very soon and very shortly. And as I love to end my podcast, and I'll choose to end this live stream, the winds of life blows on us all, but it is how you set your sails. With that, guys, live with passion. I will see you in the next video. Peace.